like you. Wow.
Simple words brought two people together for life. What seemed like ordinary love was actually a luxury no one else could possess. Carl and Ellie had just finished their wedding and moved into the rundown wooden house from their childhood. Still wearing her wedding dress, she began working on repairs, moving furniture together, designing the mailbox together, transforming the broken house into a fairy tale cottage. Since childhood they had dreamed of going to Paradise Falls in South America. The girl became a park guide. The boy sold balloons not far from where she worked. Though they lived modestly, they embodied love in its most beautiful form. They would lie on the grass imagining their future, imagining having lots of children, even painting the nursery in fairy tale colors. During a medical checkup, Ellie learned she couldn't have children. Carl watched his heartbroken wife feeling deeply troubled. He placed a notebook in Ellie's hands. Inside were their childhood dreams, hoping to make a home at Paradise Falls in South America. So they converted the nursery into their dream room, then began saving for their dream. However, life brought too many unexpected expenses. They had to empty their dream savings jar again and again. Even so, they still loved life. Every time Carl left for work, Ellie would help him with his tie. This simple gesture they repeated for decades. Time flew by. They both grew gray-haired, but still deeply loved each other. Life was simple and happy. Carl accidentally picked up Ellie's childhood photo, remembering her dream he had never helped fulfill. He felt guilty, so without hesitation bought tickets to Paradise Falls. But unfortunately, Ellie fell ill. She pushed the dream notebook toward Carl. It was their most precious treasure. Soon after, Ellie passed away, in the same church where they had married. Only Carl sat alone and melancholy. It seemed all the color had drained from life. When bored, he would use a megaphone to yell at the demolition supervisor, because they wanted to tear down his house too. The surrounding neighbors had already moved away. Only he stubbornly held his ground, because the house contained all the beautiful memories of him and Ellie. Without proper justification, the developers couldn't do anything about him. Until this day, a worker knocked over his mailbox. Carl walked out with his cane. This gave the developers the excuse they needed. They used the reason of elderly mental illness requiring care, applied to the court to have him moved to a nursing home. He picked up his and his wife's dream notebook again. Inside were their precious moments together, all happening in this wooden house. Looking at the picture of Paradise Falls, he knew what he had to do. The next day, nursing home staff came to pick him up. He casually packed a suitcase to fool the workers. The next second, thousands of helium balloons rose into the air. Then the entire house began to float upward. Carl planned to pilot the flying house to Paradise Falls in South America. To fulfill the unfinished dream he shared with his wife, he used curtains as sails, manually controlling the wind direction. The flying house glided over emerald green fields. It was absolutely beautiful.
We're on our way, Ellie.